Testing, making sure everything is okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bad Fanfiction Night.
Jesus.
I am your host, Roman McNeil. Joining me, as always, is the wonderful Twilight Guardian.
Hello.
And I realize I am partially see-through. Allow me to try and fix that.
Oh my god.
You're a ghost. You're transparent for what?
Is that against YouTube terms of service?
I modified my avatar for a little bit just to. All right, I think that's. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. All right.
Oh god, I had the worst comment.
Oh, you had the worst comment.
You're as thin as your opinions in Arcane.
Well, I'm pretty hardy then.
Damn.
God damn, I'm fat.
You chonker.
Random but regular show? No! Smiling friends!
Focus, smiling friend.
Regular show? Get out of here with that. I mean, it's not a bad show by any means. But
Hey, yeah, you
also,
watch your mouth there.
is it Guts? Hey, buddy, you
Yes,
have
it
a
is.
lot of
It
background
is.
noise. If you could,
Thank you.
yeah, push to talk. I
That's
appreciate it.
good.
Thank you very much. All right. So, hello everyone. Welcome back to Bad Fanfiction Night. I did all the introductions. I turned myself less than transparent. I'll have to tweak this version of me for those different poses while I'm talking because the little hand flapping isn't exactly the most. It's a little distracting, I admit. The more I see it. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Oh, have you finally seen the new avatar that I've made?
Yes.
I had to retrace this from scratch because his
Oh.
wasn't like completely cut out.
Seriously?
Right.
Yeah, so I had to redo everything from scratch for this. It came out rather well. I'm actually very happy with it.
Yeah, he's so cute.
But yes, we are continuing to read through RWBY Project Alpha, which as we learned in the last chapter, Project Alpha is going to fail eventually.
Eventually, yes.
Yes.
We don't even know what Project Alpha is at this point. We just know that it's going to fail. Oh
Yep.
god, this fanfic is bad. So yeah, basically the entire first chapter, the first third of it was maybe anything related to our RWBY characters. Then we get introduced to a new character named Sirena. And then literally the last 2/3 of it was just us getting her extensive backstory as princess or queen or whatever at fucking Atlantis. You might think, oh, you're exaggerating. I'm exaggerating by using the wrong names. But otherwise, no, she is just the fucking queen of Atlantis, and she is unbelievably overpowered through the use of silver eyes, an incredibly powerful semblance, and of course, goo.
Oh my god, the
okay.
goo!
You're saying that there's nothing of consequence.
squad.
Can we talk for a second about how he has an author's note at the beginning of the chapter, and he says if you want a list of the trigger warnings for this chapter, you have to go to the bottom of the page.
What?
There's
No,
a
I
lot of
kind of
writers-
get that because, like, I mean, okay. One, you'll just scroll right past them, presumably, all the triggering parts. And
The
so
trigger
you won't
warnings
have...
can contain spoilers too.
Yeah, so it's like, if you're
yeah.
willing to spoil yourself, you scroll all the way down to the bottom. I don't find that the worst, but it is a little weird. I get it. It's just there are some restrictions, I imagine. You can't, like, spoiler text on fanfiction.net.
I gotta read these triggers.
Oh, go.
When
You
I
know
do
what?
this,
No,
obviously
you know
a
what?
joke.
You can read them. Don't read them out loud. I want to be surprised. If there is triggering content in this, I want to be shocked and awed
Type
by
it.
it.
Type it with spoilers
prepare
in
to be
VC.
disappointed.
I want to see them.
Wait, what?
Just won't hit as different if you
I'm
Never
mention it.
mind.
I'm gonna be disappointed. Aw.
Yes.
Well, I'll live.
Let's take a guess. I want you to guess what the triggering content is going to be.
Okay. Blood, violence, maybe cursing.
No.
Maybe
Yeah.
shit.
Good,
Okay.
good guesses,
Even
though,
worse.
but-
I'll give myself one more stab at it, and then I'll say that I've either failed. Okay. I don't think this fic is going into the sexual realm. I don't feel like it has this has absolutely zero sexual energy coming off of it.
So
So
you're saying, by the way,
now
It has
So-
0 for now.
well, I
No,
was gonna say,
seriously.
so if there is sexual energy, it's also rated T for teen, isn't it? Yeah, it's a T. So like,
Yeah.
the sexual energy doesn't make sense to guess. What else?
So you're
could
saying
there
that
be?
this fic doesn't have the balls.
Oh, it's got the goo.
You have to get specific.
Yeah, it only has goo. The only sexual element to this is the thing that comes through accidentally.
Yeah.
Fuck is the
Trigger
oh my
warning:
God.
bad writing. No. Sex on TV. Fish. No. Trigger warning: fish.
What do you
You know
mean?
what that, you know what that
That's
means?
actually-
Fish orgy.
That's actually around that ballpark.
Is it going to be like animal cruelty? Is that the guess?
I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, well, that's my guess, and I'm going to say I'm out, and we'll be unpleasantly surprised when it turns out to be lame and not worth it.
Twy. Fish?
All right. Well, let's get into this, and I don't exactly know where we're breaking. I'm going to scroll down and see if there's like a... let's say... Okay, so there's a line that says, the next morning after another disgusting breakfast, Twy. That's
Okay.
where I'll have you pick up, if that's all right.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, well, let's hop right into this. Please remember the rules. I and Twy are priority speakers, so, if we're talking, we expect you guys to not be. Please pay attention to it. If you're going to have background noise, go push the talk. And we do love your comments and criticisms and jibes and all that kind of stuff, but we do also want to kind of get along. We're only going to get probably halfway through this chapter because, again, this fic is a long un. So please just keep in mind if it seems like the conversation has died out, it's died out, and we will forcibly tell you to drop it. So yeah, be ready for that.
With
All right, I'm gonna start now.
prejudice.
With prejudice, extreme prejudice, and it's actually really funny seeing my little guy say that now that I look like this.
They know where you live. Just keep that in mind.
That's what my dead eye stare is right into your soul. All right, let's go.
Oh dear.
Weiss-Schnee looked up at the Borba-tusk she had accidentally summoned and watched it charge towards a woman wearing a black dress. The woman stumbled backwards and fell to the ground, watching the white and light blue monster jump to strike her down. She covered her face with her left arm and screamed. In the last moment, a man dashed forward and caught the Grim, turning it to ice. He wore a dark... You're stealing this from Ironwood. Already bottom of the barrel. This was one of the Ironwood's best moments in the entire series. Oh,
How
wow.
dare you?
Or
Okay, I think I found the trigger warning. Stolen valor.
Oh my God.
I like that.
Accurate.
I like that one.
In the last moment, a man dashed forward and caught the Grim, turning it to ice. He wore a dark red tailcoat with a frilled dark gray shirt underneath, black pants with dark gray patches on the knees, and tabi with steel plates under the soles. And Guts, if you can go push the talk, please. I would very much appreciate it. Thank you. The frozen Grim rested on the man's bat wings, and he held one tusk in his left hand, extending the other to help the woman up. What? Dash forward,
Wait,
caught the Grim, turning it to ice. Okay, he wore an edgy Mick Edgingson outfit. The frozen Grim... I'm not entirely sure how he's supposed to be holding... Is he holding it by one
Yeah,
arm?
wait, this description sounds like Batman from like the Justice League versus Bat and Ruby.
Oof.
Ugh, maybe. Oh, we'll see.
I mean, it could be Yuma in Hot Topic dress, like maximum.
It's going to be an
Hot
OC,
Topic.
guys. Let's see. Keep your hands off me, you filthy faunus, the woman said, slapped the man's hand away and got back up. Hey, he saved you, didn't he? Weiss asked, walking towards the woman while the bat faunus walked away. Weiss, don't draw attention to yourself. You summoned that thing.
You made things worse, factually.
Yeah. It is quite
You're the
fine,
cause.
Miss Schnee, the faunus said with a very formal voice. I am certain she has her reasons to show such disrespect to the vampire of Vale.
Wait, the what?
I quit.
No, Count Dracula, what?
I just joined, and I'm already done.
So Celtic, Vampire of Vale.
So lightning.
That
quick
actually
image.
sounds cool. I'm not gonna
Um,
lie.
No, it doesn't. It sounds.
No,
It sounds
it doesn't.
completely
Like-
edgelord.
You know that he wrote that and he was like, oh yeah, I'm so cool and clever for coming up with this.
It's so edgelord. It's so too edgy 5 me.
It's so dumb.
Get it? It's
Oh.
not
Edgy
even
five.
3 me.
I
It's
just
the,
want to
it's
go
the
to
cheap
the-
shit on the bottom
Okay.
shelf rather than the expensive shit.
It's six.
Ah.
It's six
So-
edgy 7 me.
It's $10
I
more.
hazard to guess that this is going to be the pattern, is that we're going to interject in the middle of one of the girls' adventures during Volume 4 with a new OC with each one that's going to accompany them.
I can't wait to see how they ruin Yang even more.
Oh god!
Oh,
Yang
also-
Depression arc is
also
going to
speak-
be peak.
But which one of you said this guy was Batman?
I think I did.
And this
think
guy
somebody else
and the
also
writer
pointed it
said
out.
this guy was a vampire, so I put the 2 and 2 together and put in the Batmans in a veil.
Wait a second. This is Justice League.
Right off, Lightning, with your speed and your bullshit. But god damn it, I love it.
Thanks. Thank you, Light, my child. Thank you, my child. You've given us like at least 10 minutes worth of dopamine to get us through this shit.
Okay. The woman froze in shock, and the man put the frozen summon on a table in front of an ice sculpture of Jock. Was there an ice sculpture of Jock there at that part? I don't think there was.
To be fair, with his ego, there probably was.
In the manor.
Don't flanderize your villains, guys. Thank you for doing a Fixing RWBY series. It was inspired me to work on my own fixing series. I've made some considerable progress on the lore. I'm glad to hear that, Zargachi
Aw.
Zanparo. I'm reading my
Aw.
comments. I wish you the best of luck with that. It's an endeavor doing a fixing series. I'll tell you that.
It is indeed.
James, what is a faunus doing here? Jock asked with a lowered voice, still drawing a lot of attention due to the crowd being unusually quiet. His name is Niob Bolt.
What kind of a
Can you repeat
I'm
that
gonna
name
shoot
for me,
Niob,
please?
Niob Bolt.
Let's go with Neo. Let's go with Neo.
Yeah.
Neo.
That is a Gundam ass name.
You know what?
Dude,
Let's
I
put
feel
it
like
in Google Translate and see
I
what
feel
it
like
says.
Amuro is fucking like insulted by that.
Oh,
Chard, whatever is insulted. Niob Bolt.
Moran.
And he
There's
is
a
here as
Gilbert in there.
and he is here as my guest. James answered, looked at Niob, and said, under the condition that he keeps a low profile. We will talk about this later, Jock said, and the party mostly continued normally. I guess we're not getting the slap.
I think we will, but later on.
We'll see.
Well,
After the
I guess.
party, Jock and James were in the former's office discussing the events of the party. Who is that man? Oh, niobium is a chemical element. It is a symbol of Nb, former columbium, Cb, and atomic number 41. It's a light gray crystalline ductile transition metal. Pure niobium has Mons hardness rating similar to pure titanium, and it has similar difficult to iron. Niobium oxidizes in Earth's atmosphere very slowly, hence it's cut off.
Okay. I am too Elden Ring brained in dyslexia. It's just like Nobium has a mug hardness, is what I read first when I saw it.
You have to know how many dynasties it has raised.
Exactly.
You got a detox, bro.
I know. Okay, so I am playing Elden Ring right now. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I was just gonna say, like,
Bryce falling off the wagon.
Yuri, it's not non-binary representation. It's neon-berry representation.
Oh my god.
All right. Who is that man? Jox asked. And why did you allow him to attend my party? As I said, the man is Neob Bolt, the vampire Veil, James answered, somehow keeping a straight face. He is a skilled huntsman with an unknown yet undoubtedly powerful semblance. He never once failed a single mission. How do you know that's his semblance, then?
Sounds like
How do
you
know his semblance is powerful if he's never used it in front of anyone? This is like another level on top of Crow already having a semblance that's luck. Like, what? What is this writing? It's just compounding this bullshit.
Is this how, like, in JJK, there's a character whose power is literally, I get a huge power boost, but I die if I use it, sort of thing?
I hope this is like JJK, so it can end as poorly.
He's got the Blackbeard off screen.
Anyway, quite flattering, I must admit, Neob said as he opened the door and entered the room with Weiss following him, somehow having heard all that outside. Weiss, what are you doing here? Jox asked as Weiss and Neob took a seat opposite him. Neob had something to discuss with you, and I wanted to hear it, Weiss answered. Jock's like, well, no, get the fuck out.
Oh my god, they're really doing this whole thing where they basically have all of the characters in the same scene instead of just letting separate characters have separate scenes.
Yeah, there's that going on, and no doubt it's going to be like, Neob is there to protect Weiss from getting slapped by her dad because he's an upright... I'm calling this now. Neob is going to absolutely fucking body Jock, either verbally or somehow physically. It's going to happen. It's just requisite here. Because we can't have our characters overcome obstacles or have antagonists that are empowered in any way whatsoever for them to face. No, we have to hand them the get out of jail free card.
Of course not.
You don't think they're gonna try and make him a love interest for Weiss, do you?
I want to call him Neob. No, I'm just gonna keep calling him whatever the fuck I feel like it because I have no respect for this character already.
I'm calling him Knob because that's
So-
the
I'm gonna
vibe he's giving me.
So the real challenge that I present to you, Celtic, pronounce his name differently as many times as you can.
Yeah, I'm never gonna be able to keep track of that. I want to, but I won't be able to keep track of that.
Fair enough. Go for
Yeah,
it.
we'll see. I have nothing to discuss with a Faunus, and you should be in your room, Jock said. Your actions during the party were quite admirable, were they not? Noob asked, cutting Jock off and said, your daughter has shown that she takes action against any who she deems deserve it. I can see why you chose her to be your heir and even went out of your way to ensure she would make a good leader for the company. So her randomly assaulting someone who's bad-mouthing a fucking city is an admirable trait. I'm sorry. Okay, and that's also misconstrued. She did that by accident. She didn't mean to do that. She was pissed and her power got out of control, which I don't even quite know how that works.
Imagine misreading a scene this bad.
Imagine trying to justify a horrible action after misreading a scene that bad.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I just had a thought. Is that something that just happens regularly in RWBY?
Yes.
That they get angry and then their powers get out of control?
No, that's like the once that it happens with Weiss.
I think it happens
wait.
more with Yang.
Yeah.
than anything.
Well, Yang is the only one that has like anger-based powers, but I've never seen Ruby or Blake or anyone else like overcharge in anger. I think John might count, but that's like his trauma.
Let's not talk
Yeah,
about
that doesn't
John.
happen.
Yeah, let's
John
not.
got angry.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Let's
we're
not-
going down a rabbit hole trying to figure out how any of this works.
Also, I thought it was like. Also, I thought Yang's whole deal was damage-based powers.
Okay, we're
not
we're
apologies.
going down the road.
One other time the Trump
You-
thing.
I want to make an
outburst.
example here. You notice how I said would stop going down this road, and then Iman kept going down the road.
Yeah.
That's I've told you to stop. That's how that works. That's
We needed it. All right. We need an example every single time, I guess.
well, evidently.
Oh, boy.
We have to remind you guys every single week.
Don't forget,
What's going
don't
on?
Ruby secret Sharingan activating by emotion. Yeah, no, that's fuck. Don't even remind me. You plan to send her to Beacon, where she would befriend a few Faunus. Noib answered. Those Faunus could then help her negotiate with the Faunus workers, allowing her to improve working conditions and, as a result, reduce White Fang attacks. In short, your plan sending her to Beacon will save the company billions in annual defense funds, and I have taken the liberty to inform the media of this matter as well. This is a fucking news interview. It's like, Mr. Nib, what exactly do you do? I'm the Vampire of Vale. And you got this information? I just assumed it based on the way she behaved at the party. And you're the spokesperson? No, I don't work for them at all. I was just there at the party. And you were there because Ironwood invited me and told me to stay quiet in the corner. And did you? No. I introduced myself as the Vampire of Vale.
I'm Batman.
This is like the people that this is like the people that think that Batman should say like I'm Batman every time that he like explains a plan of like why should we do this?
People
I'm
don't
Batman.
actually think that, do they?
Kind of.
No,
That's a deep hole we should not get into.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the comic nerds on this one.
Run away far.
You did what? Jock's asked, getting up from his chair and slamming his hands on the desk. What is it with RWBY Media and making Jock like unreasonably reasonable? Like I would be right there with like what you talk to the media? What the fuck?
Why am I on Jock's side?
Yeah, I should not be on Jock's side.
Weirdly, I'm
Jock's side now?
Now about why I'm here, Nabe said, unfazed by the man yelling at him. No, nothing like this, Jock said. I will go speak with the media tomorrow. You too, Weiss, and we will clear up this misunderstanding before the damage is too big. You should probably get your, press group out tonight, actually, Jock. Jock, please, reconsider, James said. Right now, the media thinks you talked to him about this, and told him it was true. If it ever turns out he's wrong, people will assume you lied to him, and the SDC will vanish from the face of Remnant. You saw how people reacted to his presence. If he is upset with you, he will not only destroy you, but also everyone who has a connection to you. People know this. They will shun you, cut all ties, and pretend you never existed. You have to keep up appearances, or the SDC will be replaced by another company like the coal mining industries. Jock huffed at the last sentence. Jesus Christ, why is it every paragraph I have to do a full fucking stop? What?
So this version of
Do I
RWBY
just play
just
all
has
of that?
coal.
This?
What?
No, it's referring to Flint Cole, and it's like apparently he'll take over, but it's like I'm pressing
Cool
the
with it.
fucking brakes now because like I'm sorry, this man has this level of power. Why can't a person? So can he just go out and say, Jock Schnee is a bitch ass motherfucker and he pissed on my wife? Like he can just do that, and no one's going to second guess him.
He
White
said his
meat.
quilly dick was this big.
I'm
It
going to
also totally
piss
doesn't
on
undermine
the
presence
moon.
of the company at all. No, so
Jesus
You
Christ!
see how that ruby moon
That's-
is shattered?
can
It's
you-
already happened.
Can you imagine
That's
how
right.
horrifying this is? This man can literally say anything. It's like, oh well, they just assume you told him. And it's like, what if Jocks came out and Jocks, whatever. I don't. He just came out and said, I have no association with this guy. I just met him tonight on introduction through a friend. Like, I never told him a goddamn thing. If he just came out and said that, doesn't that ruin the Vampire of Vale's reputation? Thank you very much.
Yes, it
Yeah.
did
mutually
he also
assured
just shadow threaten Weiss?
PR destruction.
Yeah, also, he will
One of our heroes,
wipe
Evan.
you from the fucking face of the earth. I'm sorry, James, are you threatening me? Go fuck yourself. You're gonna destroy the fucking, like, entire industry. You're gonna take Apple off the face of the earth and no one's going to blink an eye. I'm sorry, that's not how the world works.
I just have how do you like that, Jocks? I pissed all over Atlas.
Stap Studios, not gonna lie, my advice, finish chapter 3 and drop this, bro. It gets worse. Chapter 3 is the only good chapter. Okay, I need to elucidate here. I am not in pain. Well, I am in pain, but like this is a masochistic kind of pain. All right. This is what bad fan fiction is. We live for this shit. This is fucking hilarious because none of it works. I am rewatching the EFAP coverage of Batwoman, and this is writing on that level. It's great.
Batwoman or EFAP?
And before you ask, yes, I was also surprised Batwoman was that good. Anyway. No, those fools, he asked. I bought them years ago. They can't do anything. 1 week, James said, and Jock's confident smile faded when he saw the general's expression. Maximum. All right, let's say I don't speak out against you, Jock said and asked. What do you want here in the first place? Your daughter is in danger, Niobe said. Her team leader is the target of a powerful enemy who will do anything to keep the team apart. I came here to train her and to ensure she can survive whatever the enemy throws at her. Are you sure? Jock asked. Yes, Niobe asked. My team's second command returned from the self-imposed exile and requested our help in the matter. You are raising so many fucking red flags right now, my man.
Wants to keep her team apart? Besides Ruby, the rest of the team is completely barely a blip on Salem's radar. I don't even think she cares to learn their names.
I don't even know if Ruby's really on Salem's radar. Like, fucking hell. Maybe on
She is by
she's
default
on Cinder's, but not
because
Salem's.
Well,
by default, she has because of her eyes.
It's a rabbit hole that we shouldn't go into.
Not gonna lie, Celtic sounds. Yeah, I'm angling into a David Hayter impression right now because I think it just sounds good, edgelord.
So that's what it was. I was wondering where I recognized that impression. Holy
Colonel.
fuck!
I'm trying to sneak around.
Now I know can stop feeling.
But
like
the clap
an
of my
insane
ass
person.
cheeks.
Exactly.
The clap of my ass cheeks reloading the guards.
General, I wanted to go into Salem's palace, but the clap of my silver eyes in my skull is alerting the pothole fairies.
What is clapping? Never mind. It's a
feel like
horrible
you should see a
image.
doctor.
All right.
Oh God! Fuck off!
Sirena is back.
Oh no, not Sirena.
Sirena is back.
No, she's back.
James asked, and his breathing got faster for a moment. Who?
Oh.
Weiss asked. A skilled huntress, but with questionable morals, James answered. She can definitely keep anyone safe from just about any threat, but I don't think she and Ruby will get along. I'm sorry, you say that she has questionable morals, and you're describing this guy like it's no big deal? Shut the fuck up, James. Jock, she should not be the fucking reasonable person in the room. Come on, Ruby. Come on, Ruby gets along with anyone, Weiss said. She went with Sirena, James said. Why not? Sirena tends to eliminate threats more permanently, James answered. And she usually sends a message as well. Not only do people die when they try to kill whoever Sirena is protecting, they do so slowly and painfully, except for all the times that we've seen her kill things really quickly.
Almost too quickly.
So people die when they are killed? I did not know that.
Die when they are killed.
Wow.
Yeah, Ruby doesn't like it when people get hurt, Weiss says, not realizing that Ruby... No, wait, Ruby never got a chance to attempt murder. Damn.
Bulls.
That's cool.
One time, back at Beacon, she even yelled at me for trying to kill a spider in our dorm room. Really? That doesn't sound at all like Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ruby seems the type that would whip out Crescent Rose and try to shoot the spider.
She would have like a very convoluted fucking bug zapper of some sort.
Okay, so someone said Crescent Rose for the spider. I'm imagining someone pulling out a 50 cal just to shoot a spider.
To be fair, Ruby does.
My aunt
You're
would.
that scared of spiders.
I was gonna say Ruby absolutely would pull out a 50 cal to shoot a spider.
So would I. Jeez.
I'm not denying
Well,
that. I'm
you're
just
different.
thinking about it. Like, how many people hear about that?
You know, I'm just imagining an
Understandable
elaborate
habit.
Tom and Jerry sketch where it's just Ruby versus a spider.
I would absolutely love to see that in something that's not Ruby Chibi.
Augie and the cockroach, but Ruby and
Wait, what? True leadership material, yes. Yes, Deaderex, absolutely. Oh.
Why?
All right, so
I just realized, does this
Oh, so
imply
he's a
that
bat.
this is not just a fic about Serena, but a team of 4 of
Yes.
these Serena
Yes.
level?
we knew this
OPs?
going in, Lightning. I'm sorry to say.
Lightning.
We just didn't
are
realize the
ready for this.
implications until we
Okay,
finished Sirena.
so let me get this straight. The last one was an Aquaman analog, and now this one's a Batman.
Yes. Wait, is Raymond, is Critter Glep? Yes, Critter is Glep in the full art. You can see, I think it was posted on Twitter, I'm pretty sure. Who posted it? Well, you know
Is
what?
the
I feel
team
bad.
gonna
I'm
be
gonna.
Justice League?
It might just be the Justice League. Give me a moment. I'm gonna pull up the actual artist that did this. I wrote down the name. I want to make sure I credit the person.
They did amazing work for the Smiling Friends parody. Holy crap, that is
Yeah, they
such
did.
great shit. Like,
fodder.
no notes, perfection.
Characters. Where did I put it? No, that's the individual ones. Where did I put the full one?
It's a shame that
Okay.
I never actually watched the show, so I have no idea. Like, who
I
the
don't know if
characters
it's
are.
up your alley. That's why, like, I would have shown it to you. I could show it to you if you want. They're only like 10-minute episodes, and it's really short.
I hear it's good, so fuck it. It's
Yeah,
on my list.
I love it, but also it's like it's definitely a cup of tea. Not everyone's. Where is it? Okay.
It has the
it's
nostalgia critic in it for an episode, like for
don't
a cameo.
spoil that.
You
I already knew that.
Yeah. Okay.
you're
Well,
not
whatever.
spoiling.
Fine. Okay. It's by it's Smiling. I call it Smiling Jack by Dulbwrbs. It's DULBWRZ. Dulbwrbs. Dulbwrbs. I can't. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. But that's the guy who
Right,
made it.
fantastic.
Excellent.
All right,
excellent work.
Robbie
Alright.
says I'm supposed to be Pim, but who is Pim?
He's one of the two main characters. There's Pim and Charlie, who are the two main characters.
They're the
Okay.
banter back
Yeah,
and forths.
Pim's the most optimistic one, and Charlie is typically a little more cynical.
Also,
They're like
Uh,
they're the Mordecai and Rigby of the series.
Nice buddy cop.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Also-
can't presume everyone's seen
Never
that.
seen regular show.
I haven't.
No, I was a bit too
Uh,
old for that.
Also,
They're the
light,
most funny and Daffy Duck of the show. Leave it at that.
lightning,
He's been too young for it.
Guys, can we?
lightning. I need you to edit the background to be like this amazing battle pose for the entire team when it finally comes together.
I don't have battle pose for Ruby Bat though.
No, you
I
No,
just
just
okay,
on the
dude,
front.
all you have to do is take the battle from the Justice League crossover part 1 on that flat grassy plain that's super fucking boring. Perfect. Absolutely. That would just be easy. Okay, anyway, we gotta continue on because we've been holding this
Yes.
up. Anyway, Nabe, James said and asked, who even hired Serena this time, and how did they get in touch with her? Noon hired her. Niobs. For the record, no one is 2 words, guys. Just keep that in way.
It's noon.
Noon hired her. Nabe said
Noon.
she has returned on her own accord. What? James asked, clearly shocked at this revelation because people can't have their own fucking independent wills. What's wrong? Weiss asked. Is this bad? No, probably not, James answered. It's just so far these are only a handful of reports on when Sirena did something out of personal interest, and those times things went horrible for her enemies. I don't think I could harm Ruby if I wanted, even if I used my entire military towards that goal. Why would you phrase it that way?
Why?
Are you serious right now?
Why would you say that in general?
James is
actually?
sucking up.
Did he really want to? Is he fantasizing about destroying?
No, he's
about
just saying
destroying
that, like,
Ruby?
Sirena is so powerful that he can't touch him, which is like, okay,
That's-
great.
Oh my god.
You have
No.
ships. She's
Ru-
a fish.
Ruby wouldn't even notice your efforts, Nabe said and asked, Now, Weiss, shall we go? He got up and turned to leave. I won't allow it. I won't allow it, Jock said, and got up from his chair. Niobe stopped and turned around. I was tasked with the safety of escorting your daughter to Mistral, Niobe said, which means I cannot force her to follow me. However, if she chooses to meet with her friends again, I will eliminate anyone who tries to keep her from that goal. Now, before you continue down this path, beware that nothing would bring me more pleasure than seeing you in my way, so I could let you experience suffering like what I had to endure at your hands. Naob
you're so edgy.
remained completely calm, and everyone in the room tensed up and looked at Naob. What do you mean? Jox asked, shaking a little. Ask the general
God,
at my
he
home
just
village.
stole Adam's whole fucking flow.
All right. Noob answered and then
flow?
left the room when James was frozen in shock. Weiss followed him, but once Nierb disappeared from her line of sight, she couldn't find him anymore.
So, Lightning.
That was a lot.
I have a personal request. Can you put the Robert Pattinson Batman edit that you have, but can you put that in a codec call?
Hey, what?
A codec call from Metal Gear Solid. It's just because Raymond is doing the Solid Snake voice, and I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay.
So
all
he's
right.
supposed to be like a vampire?
Let's
I
go on.
wouldn't know. The only clue that we have is that he goes by the name the Vampire of Vale. So I mean, I'm thinking chances unlikely that he's a vampire. All right, just putting that out
Okay,
there.
so he's vampire-esque. And I'm still gonna say
I don't fucking know,
you
man.
Probably shouldn't let anyone go with the vampire.
A little later, Weiss returned to. They don't have a fucking choice, it seems. A little later, Weiss returned to her room to go to bed, but saw a figure outside her bedroom window. She grabbed a rapier and used a glyph to open the door before charging towards the person. Naob stopped her rapier with the edge of his twin short swords, and Weiss sheathed her weapon again. What are you doing here? She asked. Stranger danger! I don't know you! This is my purse!
Yeah, he's
Oh.
crossed the line. Don't invite him in. Don't invite him in.
As I mentioned
Do you
before,
normal-
it is my task to make sure you reunite with your friends. Nierb answered, however, there are dangerous people lurking on our way, and many will try to keep your team divided. Our enemy is dangerous, more so than anything you've ever encountered. How dangerous? Weiss asked. And how can I prepare for it? I'll show you. Nierb answered, came into the room and closed the door. Come here. No.
No,
Do you normally sneak into the bedroom?
Let me guess, you use goo.
Oh,
Yuri, yes, exactly.
it's so dark, man.
Exactly. That was the funniest fucking moment in Madoka. It's like, what the fuck, Omura? You socially awkward fucking person. And yes, Lightning, that is exactly it. But I know nothing posted. Anyway. Come here. I have a special technique that allows me to enter your dreams or pull you into mine. 1 hour in the waking world is 1 week in the dream world, so we have plenty of time to practice.
What?
That's so dumb.
That is getting so much worse. Now he's not just a vampire. He's Freddy Krueger.
So,
was this before or after Shion from the Ice Queendom?
This is before, I'm pretty sure.
His semblance is a hyperbolic time chamber.
Oh
my god!
A hyperbolic time
This is
chamber
not the
combined with
2011
fucking
Freddy
Inception.
No, I actually want to ask this, Twy. On a level of 1 to 10, how edgy are we so far?
Oh, we're very up there so far.
Yeah, I'm saying a 9. We're
8.5.
Yeah, 8 or 9.
I am so
Wait,
everything
on the
I
edge,
said
on the edge scale, we are at a roughly.
Okay, that's enough.
I was gonna say you lost your window. All right.
Weiss gets locked and betrayed in a hyperbolic time chamber.
So we have plenty of time to practice. The two sat down on the ground in front of one another, and Weiss took Nareb's hands. They both closed their eyes and began taking deep breaths, and as Weiss sunk into a deep slumber, she felt like she was floating. The world around her faded to nothingness. She awoke 12 hours later with a stitched-up kidney. With a missing kidney. That would be the best twist. It's just like, the trigger warning
all
was,
that stuff
was
with, making
organ
Jack disappear
harvesting.
was a lie. He's just an organ trafficker.
When Weiss opened her eyes again, she found herself in a large clearing with a stone figure of her father respectfully kneeling beside her and holding her sword for her. Weiss, you got some weird fucking dreams. Thanks, she said as she took the sword from the statue. She then heard the unmistakable growl of a Beowulf, turned around, and cut the Grim down with a single strike. Instead of disappearing, however, the black smoke clouds split into two and turned into two Grim elsewhere on the clearing. So, like, right next to each other, or they, like, go, like, smoke out to farther away? Like, how... Anyway. So that's how we're playing, she said, and cut the Grim down again several times until she remembered what the point of the stream was. She jumped onto a glyph and focused to summon an Arma Gygus, which quickly disposed of the Grim. She closed her eyes again and focused, summoning a Borbatusk with relative ease. When Weiss looked around again, she saw that there was an opening in the undergrowth, sat on her Borbatusk, and let it carry her along the path. After summoning a second Arma Gygus and two more Borbatusks, that fucking sentence. Twi, remember when we talk about extended sentences and the fucking flow? Yep. Yeah, this is how you violate flow.
Yeah.
What a sentence, by the way.
She shrunk the Arma Gygus to the size of a normal human and had them ride the Borbatusk, smiling a little at her personal heavy cavalry.
Why didn't she just make Borbatusk bigger?
I like how she remembered what the point of this was, even though he no way explicitly told her what the point of this was. And absolutely, Lightning, that's to take my hand, underage girl.
What? Lightning, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Oh. She traveled along the forest path with a little more until she reached a plateau and looked around. In the distance, she swore she saw the shore of Northern Vale and sold seashells on it, except that the city was missing. Suddenly, a minor rock slide cut off the way, and Weiss suddenly felt very tired. And suddenly, she had her summons check the area for dangers, and suddenly carved a small cave into the suddenly mountainsides and went to suddenly sleep on the cold, hard, suddenly ground, but not before trying to suddenly crush the stone into sand of a somewhat suddenly soft ground. Suddenly.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, he used suddenly twice in the same sentence, and I just could not help myself after that point.
Okay, I was gonna ask if you had a stroke or something.
That's the thing I do when someone starts abusing
say southern
words. Southernly. I'll now do everything in a southern accent. We'll do that. Weiss was woken up by thunder and lightning and looked outside her little cave. She has no idea how she got to where she was, but she didn't really care either. All she knew is that she was there and that the weather was awful. You slept? I'm sorry. You slept in the dream. Are we actually doing Inception now?
Yep.
Oh, my brain. It is pulsating.
So she dies in this dream. Does she die in the other dream too, or does she then just jump to real life?
I want it known, by the way, to everyone in stream that usually Celtic says, grab your favorite drink to help out with bad fanfiction.
Are you grabbing the scotch?
What are you drinking, man?
But no, I might actually take a swig of vodka after this.
I'm drinking water, man.
Robbie says Tobiano took over the fic. I think he's right.
Oh no.
Oh no, Tobiano. Oh. As soon as she stepped out of the cave, she was hit with the heavy rain and the sound of lightning exploding right above her, deafening and blinding her shortly like a natural flash grenade. You know what we call that? We call that lightning! And thunder! Just Jesus Christ!
Impossible.
In that brief flash of light, she saw that the sky was filled with griffins, which now attacked her. Their pitch-black bodies made them practically invisible. Oh, there's that song. Sorry. Invisible in front of the black clouds, and Weiss had to fight enemies, who were clearly at an advantage. She shot fireballs at random directions, hoping to hit anything. When she hit a Grim and set its feathers on fire, she started to get hope that she could turn the tide, but the rain and wind extinguished the flame almost immediately. All right then, new plan, Weiss thought. Use ice. Use plenty of water, use ice. Or lightning.
Run away! Run away!
Lightning and thunder. Feel the thunder. Sorry.
Billy Donuts! Woo!
Hello,
The legend, the master, Billy Donuts.
She jammed her blade into the ground and used earth dust to create a protective barrier of stone pillars around her before using fire dust and summoning 6 armed Gygus on top of it. The summons had fiery bodies and gave off light and heat, but also steam due to the evaporating the rain hitting them. Weiss could not only see the summons, but also the Grimm near them, which were now forced to attack her from above. One of the griffins tackled the other summons off the pillar and into the pillar across from it, causing the cold stone to heat up rapidly and Sorry, I went to do training. Right.
We need to jiggle Raymond's batteries.
The other Grimm repeated the... Look, I have ADHD medication, and when you know that you are draining the power of meth, you are you are a dangerous foe indeed.
God. Oh no, it's sapping the meth out of my veins.
It's defeating the meth. No.
We're taking the drugs. I'm taking the drugs.
The other Grimm repeated the process, easily eliminating the pillars and surrounding Weiss. Something out there must really hate me, she thought, and one of the Grimms swiped at her and sent her flying backwards. She held on to something with her right hand, but lost her sword on the plateau. Weiss felt something warm run down her arm and looked up, seeing that she was clutching a bright red rose in her hand, and its thorns were digging into her skin and flesh.
Ow.
A rose? Weiss thought. Wait, what would Ruby do in this situation? Actually, I think I know the answer. I don't like it, and I'm pretty sure it'll kill me, but the same could be said about holding on to a giant Nevermore for transport, and that worked well enough. Pulsating brain.
You know,
she pulled herself up.
Ruby had super speed, and you don't.
Well,
so
that's
I
what
don't
she's
know
used.
how
She
that's
pulled
gonna
herself
work out.
up, used a time dilation to get past the attacking Grimm, and grabbed her sword. Using air dust, she created a cyclone around herself, lifting the water off the ground and creating a powerful water tornado around herself. She then used a glyph to hurl herself upwards and drop the water, forcing the Grimm to take to the skies. At her highest point, Weiss used lightning dust to send a small lightning into the clouds and used her rapier as a lightning rod for the returning bolt of pure electricity. She channeled the bolt through her body and into a glyph, feeling her aura decrease rapidly. As the Grimm got close enough, she unleashed the electricity into the glyph, wiping out all the Grimm around her in a brutal display of power. She fell to the ground, exhausted, beaten, but victorious, and fell to her knees. Did you see this, Whitley? She called out to the sky. This is what a single huntress can do. What army of yours commands the force of nature like I do? She started laughing hysterically and fell over sideways and passed. What the fuck?
What does Whitley do with
what?
this?
I'm sorry, what just
Whitley
happened?
do? What did Whitley do? Like, holy
Whitley's just in the other room.
That's what he
shut
said.
eye. Like,
Just mentioned this Vic.
it's not.
I am actually flabbergasted. What
Wait,
the
was that
fuck was
Whitley?
that?
Was that Whitley?
I have
She
no
was
clue.
yelling at Whitley for some reason. I don't know why. He never
Why-
said anything
yeah,
about
why is
armies.
Whitley-
Because fuck Whitley. That's why.
Siblings, am I right?
Yeah, fuck Whitley, apparently. Holy shit.
So wait, could someone please summarize what just happened? Because I'm confused.
No.
Big
Okay, so
Yeah,
continuing
that's
on.
about
Weiss is
right.
in a dream, and she fought a bunch of people.
No,
and,
I
she
said
won.
no, we are not elaborating. Continuing on.
Oh, okay.
Guys,
Look,
you need
suffer
to
like the rest of
listen
us.
to us when we say things, or else you will go into the timeout zone.
It's like the chalk zone, but less fun. When Weiss opened her eyes again, she was immediately hit with the scent of disease and suffering. She looked around and saw that she was in a cage, which was barely large enough for her to sit in. Most of the cage's floor was covered in dry hay, and there were other cages next to her and on the side of the dimly lit room. Though they were empty, she reached for a weapon but realized it was missing. So, you're finally awake, a man asked. You got arrested trying to cross the border.
Oh no, she's in Skyrim.
This is gonna get so fucked.
Oh! Weiss looked up to see a man wearing a tall black boots, light gray linen pants, and a dirty white shirt. Not that any of that fucking matters. However, the most prominent feature about him were the elephant-like tusks protruding from his lower jaw, which means he should be talking like, so you're finally awake.
Oh,
He put an old
Oh
plate
my
down in
God.
front of Weiss, which was
Oh,
filled
no,
with
no, no.
meat and fish, though they were most likely just leftovers from a more proper meal. Eat, he said with deep commanding voice. Where am I? Who are you, and where are you taking me? Name's Eddie, the man answered. You are on the Crimson Mermaid and we're heading to rocks. Your kind may not smell as good, but at least we get to keep it all. Make sure you're still alive when we reach port, or I'm in trouble. Wait,
okay, so
what?
real talk, what are you doing to get that voice, real talk?
I am sticking my pinkies up the corners of my mouth.
Amazing dedication.
All right, somebody give him the method acting medal.
Can we
I
turn on
also
the
love
subtitles
just-
for this? I genuinely couldn't understand what you were
So
saying.
was this a trigger warning? Was the trigger warning slavery?
One of them was, yeah.
Okay, all right. We got trigger warning number 1.
Okay,
Actually,
wait,
have we
what
hit
is-
any of the prior ones?
He's been slayed by the Faunus.
I think we missed another one, but we're not even halfway through the chapter yet, so it
Okay.
might come up again.
Wait, we're not?
Dude,
No.
we're going to end halfway through the chapter. These are long fucking chapters.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Wait, what? Weiss asked, but Eddie just ignored her, left the storage room and closed the door, shutting out most of the light. Weiss felt her stomach protest, but she didn't know if it was due to the food or because she was hungry. Okay, Weiss, no need to panic, Weiss thought. I mean, you're on the Crimson Mermaid, a slave-trading ship that sunk over 800 years ago. Jesus Christ, that's a very specific piece of information.
Holy fuck.
Thank you, Lightning, that's perfect.
Oh my god, it's amazing. Holy shit.
I wish I knew specific names of slave trading vessels from 800 years ago. I'm sure that would be useful fucking knowledge.
That good old
Why
Atlas
would
education coming in handy.
Hang on, why would Weiss know this specific piece of information? She must be an elite racist.
Yeah, she is another level of racist.
Yeah, don't
Eddie
you know
Rivas?
she has her she's a grand wizard.
Elite racist?
No, not
why
Eddie
we should-
Rivas. I'm sorry to say, no, it's why am I blanking on his name? Eddie Murphy. That's it. It's Eddie Murphy.
Ayo?
Yeah. Definitely no need to worry.
You know,
I mean,
there's-
the worst that could happen would be the Grim attack that killed everyone on board and sunk the ship. Actually, yes, I do have to get off this boat. God, this fucking humor is awful. She summoned a small griffin and had it fly around, looking for anything she could use. The summon brought her a lockpick, which Weiss promptly tried to use and picked the lock to her cage. After fiddling around a little and not really knowing what to do in the first place, the pick broke and she sent her summon away to again find something else. Okay, you can voluntarily change the size and shape of your summons, right? Just shrink it down to the size of a lockpick, put it inside, and then upscale. And just keep upscaling until the lock snaps.
Or just
The
use the
intelligence
griffin
of your-
or just use the griffin to break the cage.
I just have the mental image of like the night summon, just grabbing one bar of the cage and just pulling and just opening the door but breaking the wall.
Yeah, it gives her a weapon too. You get a pipe.
The intelligence of the character stops at the intelligence of the writer.
Oh.
How dare you make sense, Twilight?
A few hours later, Weiss was sitting in her cage, eating bits and pieces of the leftover food and waving her summon around every time it brought her another useless item, until her aura ran out and it disappeared. Holy shit, you are fucking useless.
Jesus Christ.
She then heard the door open and assumed the most dignified posture she could achieve while being covered in food juices and such a small space.
What?
Don't eat like a fucking barbarian then.
You fucking animal! Like, come on!
You weren't being. Did you think you're being forced to eat it like a dog? No, you have hands. We evolved them for a reason.
Okay,
This
all
is
right.
officially the writer's barely disguised fetish.
No, legitimately. Like this is like I didn't want to say it, but there is porn that I have encountered that started like this.
What?
Oh.
What? What?
I have been
Oh,
places,
this
guys.
is something,
Trust me.
Also,
it gets weird out there.
Also, Weiss Frieza is something I never expected to see, but thank you, Lightning.
What?
You know,
Dude, they're quick with
competitive racing. How would this guy see opponent?
Oh no.
Real talk, actually. If the Weiss voice actress said monkey in the most racist way possible, what do you think it would sound like?
It would sound okay. So It would sound like Riku from Final Fantasy X-2 yelling the word monkey. That's what it would sound like.
Ooh, good one.
Which is, I believe that's Tara Strong, now that I think about it.
I think it is, yes.
That's disappointing. But yeah, like, I have a friend who does a really good Weiss voice, so I could ask her and we'll find out.
Thank you,
Please do, actually. Please do.
I could see if I could ask the Dust Queen Weiss to do it. I can get in touch with her.
Dust Queen Weiss, can you scream monkey as hard as you can?
Well, monkey with the hard Y. Anyway.
Oh
Jesus Christ.
Not who I was thinking of, but that's still funny.
Sorry, now I'm just like, what the fuck does the hard Y sound like?
The hard Y. Oh my god. Is it like monkey?
That's a hard K.
Like, okay, you have to understand where I'm coming from when I say that, though, because, like, where are you going to say the hard Y?
Okay, all right. What does the soft Y sound like? Anyway,
no.
Okay, where was it to do? Hey, you still awake? Eddie whispered, and the man stopped in front of her cage. The faint red light of the evening sun fell into the cargo room. What do you care? Weiss asked, trying to sound as snarky as possible. I know who you are, Eddie answered. Or rather, what? So? Weiss asked. She had no idea what was going on, but she had to play along enough to find out what he was talking about. I want to help you take down the Governor of Rocks, Eddie said. And with your weapon, I mean this thing must have been quite costly to make. When we reach Rocks, I'll manage the sale and promote you to a combat slave. That way you can keep your sword. When you get a chance, go and take down the Governor, and you're free. The captain is with the Governor, and she took my ship, and so I can't help you too much, but I'll do what I can. What the fuck is happening?
I'm sorry, did this man just say combat slave?
You are a slave. I'll upgrade you to combat slave if you commit a high-profile political assassination that I totally won't throw you under the bus for.
He wants her to kill the Governor of Rocks?
Get fucked,
and then die in the process.
Then Weiss just says, thank you, Weiss said, and she suddenly realized why cages were so small that most people had to bow their heads to sit in them. Eddie left again, talked to some other pirates outside the room, and closed the door. Weiss turned her attention to the lock of her cage. Wait a second, she thought, and waited for her aura to regenerate, and she created a glyph around the lock. She closed her eyes and focused on the resistance from the different parts of the lock. She always had a feeling of moving things herself when using her glyphs, but she never put too much thought into it. There were bolts and springs inside the lock, which she just needed to bring in the right position, and it would snap open. Normally, she would expect a lot of force at once. She would exert a lot of force at once, but she could also use a little force on one bolt, hold it in place with another glyph, and repeat the process until the lock was open. She created a glyph on either side of the lock to get a better feeling of different bolts inside the lock, and used those glyphs to move them up and down inside the lock until they were all in the right positions inside the lock before the lock snapped open. However, Weiss's aura ran out again, and all her work was undone on the lock, and she laid down and eventually fell asleep on the hard wooden cage of the floor. I couldn't find a way to slide lock into that sentence.
Thank God.
Lock. Yeah,
okay, credit where credit's due. That's actually a really creative use of glyphs that I never actually thought of before. So
because we've got no indication that she can move glyphs in that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
I don't see why she
I was
can't.
presuming that glyphs were stationary where they were.
That's why it's cool.
This
I don't see
wouldn't
why
be
she
a
can't.
problem. This wouldn't be a problem if Weiss summoned a Keyblade instead of lockpick.
Well, that's because Keyblades are summoned to smash the cage.
Speaking of Keyblades, Twy, you are up.
Yes, thank you. The next morning, after another disgusting breakfast, Weiss went back to work on the lock. After several attempts, she finally managed to open the lock, made sure that the coast was clear, and left the cage. Weiss first stretched her limbs, then stumbled around the storage room. She went to a shelf filled with chests, none of which were open, and practiced her newly acquired skill until she heard someone open the door. Why would you do that?
I just learned how to lockpick, so instead of leaving my captors, I exited my cage after picking the lock. and decided, oh, there's a bunch of chests here. I'm going to continue practicing my new lockpicking skill.
Oh my god.
I think she might just be intentionally acting careless, knowing that this is just a dream.
Sure.
There is no indication that she seems to think this is a fucking dream at this rate.
Yeah.
Also, this really is like Skyrim.
Wait, this is still a dream?
Apparently.
Yeah. This is still the dream. This might be a dream within a dream within a dream.
Yeah, we might be so far as in like 3 levels of dream. We're not entirely sure. Nothing makes sense. The fact that she agreed to being put to sleep in the same room as a complete stranger in any way whatsoever and was fine with it under the auspice of training. Okay, so hear me out. Curveball here. What if Weiss has a somnambulance kink?
No, I'm gonna quick ask.
No.
I'm gonna quick ask my girlfriend.
Wait, what is
actually, sorry, I'm gonna quick ask my girlfriend. Hey, are you gonna be okay if I just leave you in the auspices of someone you don't know, just real quick? You gonna be okay with that? Yeah, sure, fine.
She rushed back to her cage and closed the door again. How are you? Eddie asked as he walked up to Weiss's cage. Well, I'm stuck in a cage with no way to entertain myself, Weiss answered.
Despite all my rage.
Yep. You know, at least I'm away from my dad, so that's good. Your dad sounds awful, Eddie said. Anyway, we reach Brax in a week, so keep yourself alive as best you can. You'd hate him, Weiss said and asked. By the way, can I forgot about the said and asked.
Oh, fuck.
Just skip it. You're not missing much.
By the way, can I get a blanket or something like that? I thought you Atlas types don't mind cold, Eddie answered. I don't, not really, Weiss said, but the ground is too hard. All right, I'll see what I can do, Eddie said and left again.
Wait,
he came back shortly after with an old pile of clothes, and Weiss pretended to fall asleep on it so she could get back to practice lockpicking.
You know this isn't a hentai because this is the part where he'd say something along the lines of, "Oh, I've got something hard for you," and that's where like the porn would begin, and like that's how we know this isn't porn. I know we can assume that it's not porn from the rest of the story, but I'm just pointing out this is how you tell the indicator. The minute that line comes in, if you're not up for it, get out.
What a sentence, by the way. This is how you know the porn will begin.
Oh my god.
Also, Giga Chad moved for just, admitting in front of YouTube that you like to goon.
Dude, okay, no, everyone should be honest about that. We are all human here. Not everyone, mind you, but like, look, we can all admit we have gooner tendencies. We're on the internet.
I don't know what you're talking about. Don't rope me in with the rest of you.
No comments.
A week later,
You have
the ship
been
arrived at Brax. Raymond?
Sorry, I just wanted to point out you've just drawn more attention to yourself.
So
Thanks for doing
now
that.
you know how it feels.
A week later, the ship arrived at Brax. It was a classic desert village with southern Sanas, with sandstone buildings supported with wooden beams. There were multiple stages where slaves were sold, all with differently colored curtains. What's with the curtains? Weiss asked as she was being led to the stage with the red curtains. She was in shackles, which chafed a little, but she had her sword with her again, and it was full of dust. That's to show what kind of slaves are for sale, Eddie answered. Red for combat, blue for household, green for gardening, and white for, well, pleasure.
Oh my god, this is how the porn starts.
Please don't be white.
No. If, like I said, if it's going to be porn, it have already started.
You can't find the evidence.
They arrived behind the stage, and the other traders and their slaves, all of which were Faunus, looked at the only human around. Hey, Eddie, the white stage is over there, a goat Faunus said, and everyone laughed at Eddie and Weiss. Don't take her lightly, Anne, Eddie said and asked. Want to take this to the arena? Really? Anne asked mockingly. You want to send that to the arena against this? She pointed at a slave wearing a blindfold, who had patches of scales around his eyes. He wielded 2 broadswords and wore ragged clothes. His black hair was dirty and messy and loosely tied into a wolf's tail.
Sorry.
You good there, dude?
Just I'm just enthralled. Is all. Just.
Oh yeah. Okay. Understandable.
Yes, enthralled.
Someone did point out, hey, it's a week later, so that's 1 hour in real time, right? Or do we multiply by Inception rules? I don't know.
Weiss was standing in the arena where combat slaves were often pitched against each other. Wild animals, or Grimm, to test their combat skill. The arena was covered in ankle-high sand, but had a wooden floor. Her opponent, a horned lizard faunus, was standing opposite of her. Both were behind steel gates, and as soon as the gates dropped to the ground, they rushed into the arena.
Okay.
Did you have a stroke there, Twilight?
No, the sentence
writer did.
accidentalled itself.
Okay, just making sure.
The writer did.
Yeah.
I can have concern.
Weiss didn't want to kill someone, but she also didn't want to die. The other slave attacked with his 2 broadswords, and Weiss blocked the attack easily, deflecting the first blow to stop the second one. She pushed the man back and went on the attack, landing a hit on his shoulder. The man hissed in pain, and Weiss stood there for a moment, realizing the man had no aura to protect him. He swung his swords at her, trying to hit from above, but Weiss blocked both strikes with ease. Suddenly, the man shot a dark red liquid from his eyes, blinding Weiss. He kicked her. Oh, some lizards can do that. It's a defense mechanism. They can shoot blood from their eyes.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that. So cool.
Animals are freaky.
He kicked her in the chest and knocked her down before rushing in for another attack. The crowd went wild, and Weiss could hear several anti-human slurs among the cheers.
I'm glad you didn't write any of those out, so we would know what any of those would sound like. What is an anti-human slur like? I mean, okay, would you call a human a monkey? But you couldn't because there's monkey faunus. So how does that work? You can't go an evolutionary
naked
level.
Monkey. You can call them naked monkey.
So are faunus, though.
Would you scream hair? Would you scream something like hairless shit or something like that?
I mean, they probably could just scream sapien or something. I don't know.
You call them Hume.
No. Yeah, what's the scientific name for a human? You call them a home.
Okay, so
I mean, there was that one.
Guys, I want the chat and YouTube history to know that we're currently trying to figure out a way to say racist slurs against humanity.
Look, man, this is a normal day on the internet. All right,
it's not the internet. What I'm saying is, Magneto would be proud.
Yes, he
Thank you. I appreciate this.
Yes, he would. Homo superior for life.
Well, if they want to play dirty, Weiss thought and rolled aside. She used one of her glyphs hidden under the sand to make it look like she caused a pillar of sand to shoot up with a simple wave of her hand. The crowd gasped, and Weiss wiped the blood out of her eyes, looking for her sword. Another glyph, this time hidden in her tightly torn sleeves, she pulled the sword to herself. As soon as she held her weapon again, she used air dust to kick up a massive cloud of sand and summoned 2 Armagigas. As the cloud settled, the crowd went quiet and the other slave dropped to his knees and forfeited. About an hour later...
Too much sand! I'm out! Also, I love how this entire thing is to train her, but ostensibly it's to show off that she's gaining cool new moves that she's probably going to use later in similarly uncreative ways. We could have just had her use these creatively in the future in relevant situations instead of in circumstances where there's absolutely zero narrative weight.
No.
But still, is the slavery gladiator subplot important to the training? Was that even necessary?
She needs to learn how to put glyphs underneath sand and to use them to lockpick, and she needs to I don't know, learn how to conduct lightning through her body.
Is the slavery subplot worth anything? What a
No.
sentence, Lightning. What a sentence.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
You
Maybe it
never
says
know,
something
man.
I
deep down
mean,
about life.
it never had been in Ruby, so why start now?
Oh
Good
shit!
point.
Right.
Damn.
About an hour later, back at the auction, Noon wanted to offer any money for Weiss, knowing she'd be too expensive and too dangerous to keep in line. Just before the auction was over, a Dalmatian faunus raised his hand. The governor wants to buy her, he said, and the crowd turned towards him, and a short man wearing a light beige hooded cloak, completely hiding his identity.
Well, that's convenient. That's the guy you need to stab.
Yeah. In the evening, that same Dalmatian faunus led Weiss to a small room, which included a bed for one, a small clothing cabinet, and a stool and a chair. This is your room, he said, but our master wishes to speak with you first. Please follow me. Okay.
Oh no.
I'm glad we
Sure.
established this room instead of just going right to the master.
So,
Let me take you to your room. Okay, you've seen it. Now let's go.
so,
Now we're going to
Can I
Sure,
sleep in the
sure, your
room? No, it's only for
accommodation.
show.
so Twy, are you honestly thinking? Because I feel like I am, and I know I am. Like, what the fuck is this world building?
No, you can't. I'm gonna show you this room. Oh, good. Can I sleep in it? No, you can't afford it. Why? It's Canadian real estate.
Oh, don't say that. No.
This room costs a
I
low.
get it, I'm American.
Don't worry. This room is one of the more affordable ones we have. It starts in the low millions.
Oh no.
And yet it's still filled with cockroaches.
Oh, they're
showed Weiss-
prior tenants.
He showed Weiss the way through the largest building in the village until they reached the large double door. The Dalmatian faunus opened it and gestured Weiss to enter. After she walked through the door, the faunus closed it again. The room was about as large as Weiss's back home. Had a large window overlooking the village behind a large wooden desk, and a map of the area on the wall. The governor rose from his chair and closed the curtains before reaching up to take off his hood. Rice was ready to skewer the man as soon as he let his guard down, but was shocked when the hood came off. Weiss, finally a familiar face, Whitley said as he ran over to Weiss, hugging her with tears in his eyes. Weiss
What?
relaxed and slowly
What?
hugged her brother back.
One moment. I need to address a
fucking
comment
knew
here.
Can I quick snap my neck from the whiplash?
Well, 1 minute. I want to address this comment. Ryan Carson, wait, is Weiss still a minor in this story? Because if so, anyone who picks the white for her needs to be dealt with. Okay, so let me get this straight. It's not that there's a massive slavery market that you have a problem with. It's only if they have underage sex slaves that you have an issue with. I think you
Oh, yeah,
need
it's not
to
like any of this is
reassess
real.
your priorities here because they're already at a level of awful where, like, being dealt with is a preferable option. Like, we're already at that stage. You can't get, like, we're at a point where you need to make an example of them as, like, the extra step up. But even then, that would probably be an acceptable for the level they already have. It's like splitting hairs where we're at, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're morally bankrupt. So, like, giving them the Esteem treatment probably wouldn't hurt for these guys.
Whitley, what are you doing here? Weiss asked, and both broke their hug. I was in the desert, Whitley answered and wiped away his tears. A Grim attacked some people and killed them all. I was the only survivor. I took the clothes off their leader and went to where they had come from. Over the past week, I had pretended I was the governor, and he's an awful person. But if they knew the truth, I'd be hanged or worse.
Wait, hold up. How do you pretend to
Whitley
be a
was pretending to be
governor?
their leader.
You're
Yeah. Hold on. How does?
oddly
I don't-
calm about this, Weiss said. I had an entire week to get used to it, Whitley explained and asked. Still, can you get me out of here? He went to his chair and reached under the seat. Sure, Weiss answered and asked. But what are you doing? Just getting something out of here, Whitley answered, pulled out a small drawer hidden in the seat of his chair, took a key to unlock the oh my god. Why am I struggling with this sentence?
Now you're having this.
You'll get there.
Whitley answered and pulled out a small drawer hidden in the seat of his chair, took a key to unlock the drawer in his desk, and showed Weiss a stash of papers. What's that? Weiss asked. The deed to this village, Whitley answered. I want you to burn it with the rest of this place. All right, Weiss said, locked the door and summoned 2 Armagigas to make it look like there had been a big fight. She then made them disappear again and summoned a griffin.
What?
She sat down on the summon, pulled Whitley onto its back as well, fired a fireball into the ceiling to create a hole that had the griffin take off into the night sky before firing a fireball into the office.
Hey, Twy, did you destroy my brain with more Unicorns of Valinor, like, lore, like, to remind me of shit? Because, like, what the fuck is happening?
So...
No, that wasn't Unicorns of Valinor, that was my inner life.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
fair,
also,
but
over
at the
under,
same time-
is this actually Whitley? Or is this, like,
fuck is
just a
happening?
dream
No, it's
apparition version of him?
No, it's definitely a
We
dream.
don't know yet.
Like, I think I can forgive like a lot of the weird or inconsistent stuff. Not just because it
Okay,
is a dream.
wait, I had a horrible realization. What if this is like fucking Ender's Game and it turns out the dream has been real this entire time and you've like time traveled?
No. Okay.
What?
Calm yourself.
So
I don't even.
the author of Ender's Game can go to hell, but like, please don't insult a decent story.
Ender's Game is a great book, and the series is very interesting. Like, you know, you say what you
Indeed.
want about Orson Scott Card, but like,
That's true.
I'm just, this is just so. I don't know what to expect from this in the worst way possible, and it's like also you're just going to
I've
create.
only ever read Ultimate Iron Man, so
If you presume this is real,
hard
her
as
setting
much
this
as I want.
building on fire might wipe out the fucking town. You can't just have an uncontrolled blaze. Lighting buildings on fire should not be done haphazardly.
Yeah, have you seen California right now?
Yeah, wouldn't that just kill all the innocent enslaved people?
Potentially, yeah. And all the guilty enslaved people.
Also, hey, Raymond.
No one really thinks about those. It's always the innocent enslaved people. Sometimes there's guilty enslaved people. You can have both.
I mean, yeah,
Stop! I swear to God, why do you hit so well? Why do you hit so well?
Because it's lightning, that's why.
He's literally built different.
Okay, Twilight, fuck you. You're right, but fuck you.
After flying for a while, Whitley looked around and noticed that he could no longer see the fire from the village. Are we far enough away now? Whitley asked. For what? Weiss asked. So they can't hear us when we scream, Whitley answered. I think so, yes, Weiss answered and asked. Why? Nothing, really, Whitley answered, took a deep breath and screamed, holding his sister even tighter. Whitley, what's wrong?
All right,
do I have permission to scream? Yes, you do. Okay, screams.
All right, better question. Weiss, like, why do you think of your brother this way?
Okay,
Is this how she thinks of him?
This was gonna
Is
be a
this
surprise
some...
twist, and he was gonna try to stab her or something.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, yeah, this is the betrayal. Whitley finally kills her, and it's like, yeah, you can just end this section of the fic.
Whitley, what's wrong? Weiss asked, trying to keep her summon under control. We're flying, Whitley answered, still screaming. It's all right, Weiss said. Just take slow and deep breaths, count to 10, and stop squeezing me like this. Sorry, Whitley said, loosening his grip again, and began breathing more slowly until he calmed down again. It's fine, Weiss said and asked. Now, where did that Grim come from? Where did it go? What did it do? And what did it look like?
Where did it come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
God damn it! Beat me to the punch.
There's like 6 different people that had the exact
Yeah,
same idea.
we were all like just rearing up. And of
It
course
was
lightning that
a
got it.
race to the same pun, and frankly, I'm glad the person who got it got it.
Damn it, I wasn't paying attention.
And I wasn't going to say it when I was saying that line.
You
so thank you.
coward, Twilight.
I'm
what
not
the
a
fuck am I
coward.
saying?
Bro, is that water? Have you been having too
No,
much
she's
water?
she's committed to reading this god awful fic.
Well, that was her first mistake.
Actually, it is because I'm the one that made this this event up.
You
my
are,
fault.
frankly. So, Twilight, I have to ask you a really serious question. How do you sleep knowing that you were the one that invented bad fiction night? Fucking, I swear.
How do you feel knowing that you're having a stroke?
I don't know. Okay.
Do you
These
smell
words
and
come out.
do you smell burning toast?
I am.
Oh, your words
drinking
came out. I'm
water.
so happy for them.
I am drinking water, guys. I'm drinking water.
To answer your question, I sleep in my bed 4 hours every 8 hours because I have a sleep disorder.
Oh,
But pretty well when I do actually get to sleep. So thank you for asking.
I
I thought you were gonna
appreciate
say
it.
something badass, like I
But-
sleep peacefully next to like my partner or whatever.
Hey, take care of yourself, but at the same time, again, I am not drunk.
How do you
I am-
sleep at night? Next to my wife.
Next to your wife.
Wow. Okay, so
I didn't know. I was, what was? I did not know I signed on for this, but I'm not exactly against it.
So,
Handle
okay, fuck off. I do want to actually clear the record. I'm not drunk, guys. I swear I've been drinking just water, but English is hard for me for some fucking reason.
It is English.
It's okay. You've only been speaking it since you were born.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
I
Zero,
think
fuck off.
I think we've got 2 more sections in us before we call it a night. So Twy, if you want to finish up this one
Yeah.
before that last one.
Let's see here. It was somewhere over there, Whitley answered and pointed towards a mountain. They called it a poltergeist, and it looked like a pile of rocks. All right, Weiss said and directed her summon to fly towards the mountain. Weiss? Whitley asked and said, I think there's a misunderstanding. That's where the Grim is. We have to fly in the other direction. No, I heard you loud and clear, Weiss said. I'm a huntress, so I can't ignore a Grim trying to kill people. The griffin landed in front of a small patch of rocks arranged by size and type, as well as a garden of cacti. After the summon disappeared, Weiss drew her rapier and headed toward the cave in the mountain behind the garden. What do you think this is? Whitley asked. Looks like an arsenal or army of sorts, Weiss answered. If this really is an advanced version of the Geist, it can possess things in its environment, and Grim become more dangerous and more intelligent with age, meaning this one could very well have gotten to a point where it collects materials to possess and prepares its body based on what it wants to do. Wait, I thought Grim were mindless monsters, Whitley said. That's what the common folk is told, yes, Weiss explained.
Damn.
It keeps them from panicking, because knowing Grim can strategize like we do would freak out anyone not trained to combat Grim. And as you know, fear attracts Grim. A core aspect of a huntsman's job is to make sure people don't attract Grim in the first place. Makes it easier to protect them, you know.
Wait, I thought Grim strategizing is something that's almost unheard of.
No, I mean, we know there are intelligent Grim. We know that. We learned that in Volume 2, but let's not go into the lore of the Grimm because that's a fucking canoodle and a half.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Black hole and a half.
Quite literally, the minute that any
let's go
kind
back
of
to the lore
meaningful
of
lore
Goo.
crops up, we're going to go, let's not get into that right now because all of it's so fucking
Okay.
messy.
No, no, no,
Oh,
no.
look at all these cans of worms. So
There's-
delectable.
No, there's a particular thing that I can't let slide. Fuck you, Zero, for saying let's think about goo.
Wait, what did I say?
Don't remind
No,
me.
I said
No.
let's think
Oh, that's
about Goo.
lightning. Sorry.
Wait.
Oh my
For
god.
Zero.
I don't know. I don't blame you
I-
for bashing on Zero. It's okay. It's more
Hey,
acceptable.
man, listen.
Wow.
Listen. Don't be added to the shit list, man. I'm still waiting for I know's downfall here. I'm still praying on this motherfucker.
What? Hold on.
You remember what you did?
Don't actually.
We'll talk about it later.
Oh, shit.
I can see why
About it
people.
now. This is
Okay.
I
This
can
is about
see
the
why
chasm
people
stuff.
would. Shush your faces. I will mute every single one of you. I can see why people would freak out if they knew that, Whitley said, shaking a little. Don't worry, though, Weiss said. Only some Grimm live long enough to become this intelligent. Most are just mindless monsters. After the siblings entered the cave, with Whitley staying close behind his sister, they encountered a snake made up of rocks, with a white and red mask for a face. Whitley swallowed nervously and took a step back, and Weiss got ready to fight. The Grimm charged at Weiss, but left its body and sent the stones flying toward her while it flew away. The monster had long, skeletal black arms with bony claws for hands, bone spikes protruding from its spine, and light bone-plating armor. 2 red eyes were visible on its bone-faced mask, and was connected to its armor. And a single red line ran across its entire body. Suddenly one of the eyes moved to the back of the body and fixated Weiss, allowing the Grimm to dodge her icicle attacks. As Weiss ran after the Grimm, it disappeared into the walls, floor and ceiling, and hurled rocks and debris at her. After blocking some of the debris with her right arm, she suddenly felt the ground underneath her disappear. Weiss! Whitley called out, and Weiss landed on something solid. Her brother was about 5 meters above her, reaching out down into a chasm filled with magma, and the poltergeist flew down the chasm and into a tunnel. She looked down and noticed a white glyph underneath her. Using her own glyphs, she got back up to her brother. Thanks, Whitley, she said, and she dusted off her already dirty clothes. For what? Whitley said. For saving me, Weiss answered. Wait, that was me? Whitley asked and looked at his hands. It was, Weiss answered and said. Now, let's get that Grimm.
Let's get that bread.
How are we going to... How are we going to follow it? Whitley asked, and looked to the tunnel and said, It's too small for your griffins, and I can't exactly walk on magma. Weiss thought about it and looked around.
Well, you can
What would
walk on
Ruby do?
magma, but you just take gradual damage over time. That you have to wear the right cloak in order to minimize, damage from fire. And anyway, sorry.
Well, no, it's fine as long as you take off your shoes, remember?
You have to.
You gotta get
What
them
you
grippers
actually-
out.
Would Whitley be able to use glyphs?
Hold up, you can't be saying that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I had a joke going, but then you said you got to get the grippers out, and frankly, no.
Not allowed, sir.
We can't let that slide. We can't let that slide.
I'm sorry.
The bit is ruined.
I'm in the Smiling Friends system, so I gotta say the weird out of pocket shit.
Hang on, Raymond. Raymond, on the topic of Raymond, I need to know. Does Irina having 6 toes give bonus magma protection?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay,
yes.
Zero, fuck right off.
He remembered.
How are we going to follow it? Whitley asked, looking to the tunnel and said, Oh yeah, sorry, I already read that. What would Ruby do? She thought. Well, she'd probably ask us for ideas, which means that we'd have to come up with something. And the only one with the plan would be Yang. Damn it. Well, I have an idea, Weiss said, but you won't like it. You won't find anything worse than what I went through, Whitley said. Let's do your plan. All right, but don't say I didn't warn you, Weiss said. She took She looked at the magma fall feeding into the river, and fixated a rock spike sticking out the side of the chasm with her eyes.
That's such a weird phrasing. Okay, there we go. We're halfway through this chapter. Oh my god, this fucking
we're halfway
fic
there.
is so amazingly bad.
It's so dense. There's so much going on.
I mean, as far as acid trips go, this one is pretty
What I
dog
just love
shit.
is that we have learned absolutely nothing of fucking consequence in 1.5 chapters. Like, nothing important has actually happened.
No, we've
mean-
learned something important.
Sirena has 6 toes.
I'll give to
We also
some
learned that there's a
credit. At
Batman
least this
in
chapter
the universe.
mostly focuses on a Ruby character and not just an OC.
Well, no, it's the opposite problem. You introduce his OC and you just kind of drop him, and now he's not doing jack shit except facilitating this learning arc. It's like the opposite problem of last week. Now we're all Ruby characters. Was like, okay, fine, whatever.
I mean,
guess.
honestly, I'd prefer Ruby characters than OCs anyway, but like...
I don't know. The thing is, I find that,
like
if I were seriously reading a fic, sure, I'm right there with you. But, like, this is like, I'm here for the memeage. I'm here to make fun of shit. And this is just kind of, like, boring. Like,
I mean, we got.
give me
we did
Nerb.
get-
Give me back Nerb. I liked Nerb. He was hilarious.
This is like
Right.
so bad because
Wow.
he's not adding to anything really. It's what it's doing is taking credit. No, that's not what it's doing. What it's doing is it's adding these characters who can't lose like at all, and it's not giving us any enjoyment or any excitement. This isn't a good fan fiction. I understand that this is bad fan fiction tonight, but this is like one of the worst things I have ever heard in my life.
Oh, poor Sal. This is nowhere near as bad as it can get. Trust me.
There's no tension.
This is like
There's no
what's
tension.
nice is that like
I
this is
knew
genuinely
server.
enjoyable. We've read some real bottom of the barrel shit, man.
I personally enjoy the fact that there's fan fiction out there where Ganon blew up the planet and Link moved on to.
We still have to get back to Mike Hand's Legend of Zelda Sailor Moon.
Yeah,
crossover.
exactly. Like,
Yeah, we have
That
to.
was actually the secret backroom pilot for fucking Tokyo Mew Mew.
Fucking
Oh,
hell.
gosh. what was-
Was that the one where he was copying a walkthrough?
Oh, that was the same
Yes.
one.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Well, what was the worst one that we read? Because I think that it was the Little Mermaid 2 Pirates of the Caribbean lesbian crossover.
I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah,
what?
God, that one was
That one was
boring.
that one was uniquely
Wait, I missed that?
bad. Oh
Instead of waiting on Lupus Fix It for that one, by the way.
Yeah.
Damn, that might have been the first time I would
It
have
actually
enjoyed The Little
sounds
Mermaid.
good.
No, you wouldn't have. It was
You wouldn't
really,
have.
really fucking dull. It took 6 chapters to start the plot.
Like,
Yeah.
Man.
it's telling that everyone involved for reading it was mostly bored, and considering how bad that went, like that's an impressive achievement.
I
that
was
you
gonna
made
say, like crossing
something
over
that
Little
bad, that
Mermaid and
bored.
Pirates of the Caribbean, there's a lot of chemistry.
Yeah,
that could work
like that
there.
sounds like it cooks.
Wait, between
Exactly.
Little Mermaid and Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah,
like a good
and like
That sounds like really cool.
Well,
How do
want,
you screw
it
that
does,
up?
but you want to know how they fuck it up? All right, so let's
Oh.
see. I think the main
Yes.
character was Jack Sparrow's daughter.
Yeah.
Yep.
who
Oh
was
well,
gonna
you
fall-
fucked it up
Okay, well
already.
that's the problem. The
Yeah.
implication that Jack Sparrow actually
Oh,
fucks. and
oh
has a
that's
kid.
right. I completely forgot. I started doing that. At the end, I started skipping every other sentence just to get through it
Yes.
faster.
No,
Yes, and nothing was missed by doing that.
No. What's worse is that you didn't skip every sentence. You skipped every paragraph.
Oh, that was near the very end.
No,
where I was like,
Exactly.
And you said it was Little Mermaid 2?
yes, it was Little
Yes.
Mermaid 2. So basically,
was,
you have Jack
really
Sparrow's
bad.
daughter falling in love with Melody,
Was
and it's like it's the most boring.
also-
Like everyone is super comfortable in their worlds, kind of shit. There's no
So,
tension.
you know,
Is
Jack
that also
Sparrow's
the
daughter
one
is
that
just
started
Jack
with
Sparrow all over
Poseidon
again.
lore?
I'm going to drop an opinion
Yes,
right
yes,
now.
it had the Poseidon lore.
They had
You
the
know-
Poseidon lore twice. It's
You know,
Yes.
I'm gonna drop something. I'm gonna drop an opinion. I know, daring. I really liked The Little Mermaid too.
Ew.
Yeah, I dropped my hot take. I like the Little Mermaid.
Well,
character.
Twy,
I
you
like
can
it.
you can
you
go
have
ahead and
bad
execute
taste.
him in
Yes, I
private
do,
chat.
and I accept that.
I like
No, see,
Cinderella
I may
too.
have bad taste, but at least I'm happy.
I just can't wait to see Little Mermaid 2
You can
adapted into
smile
Kingdom
as
Hearts.
the axe comes down. It's okay.
I have no
gladly
idea how you can stand to eat literal rotting garbage, but okay.
Well, just ask Weiss and get covered in the food juices.
Like,
Oh, that was another thing. That was another thing in the fanfic, Raymond. It also had the Pixie Hollow fairies in it.
Oh fuck! It did.
Oh
no.
god!
Don't do that to them.
Okay, first off, two things. One, Twy, you are re-unlocking like core memories that I had like left in the deepest, darkest.
Man was like, I was happy. Why did you do this to me?
Oh, thank you, Lightning. That helps so much.
Oh fuck! Right off, Lightning. Like, come on, man.
All right. Well, thank you all
It's-
so
it's-
much for
it's
joining us.
Inception
I hope you
slavery.
all had a fun time. I know we all had a good laugh. Remember, if you want to support us, $1 to the Patreon gets you access to this Discord server, the Tundra, where you can join in on Bad Fanfiction Night every single Friday night at 10 p.m., unless there's a circumstance outside of that. Please join us for all of our other streams, the Team Jack podcast in particular, which will air every single Wednesday now, actually. I believe we're moving it this week because schedules have shifted around. We're doing it Wednesday now at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so join us then.
Wait, we're doing what?
I'm talking about Team Jacked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're moving to
Not
Wednesdays.
you.
Learn
bro,
to
sadly.
pay attention.
And then, yes, otherwise, if you just like this content, please like, subscribe, and share it around, and invite your friends to come watch us every Friday night for the shenanigans. But yeah, that's all we have to say. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you all on the flip side.
Goodbye.